Warning, this video contains spoilers. Hey there, I'm Further Reading. Today we're talking about mining into the depths of hell. From the depths of hell and through the magma sea, there will be multiple spires on your map. The tops of these spires are described as gem-encrusted volcanic walls. In some cases, they might only exist at the magma sea. In other cases, they can exist in some of the cavern layers. In some rare cases, which I believe is due to a bug, they can erupt out through the surface and many Z levels into the sky. The tops of these spires are considered gem-encrusted volcanic walls. You'll get a notification once they show up. And basically it is a chunk of obsidian with gems in the walls. I'm showing you here one level of this revealed using DFHack, and each level of the spire are going to contain pockets of lava, pockets of water, and these empty pockets here. These empty pockets are very dangerous. They can contain fireballs, which once opened will rush out and probably set the miner who opened it on fire. They can contain demons, who are very strong versions of forgotten beasts, who will probably kill your miner immediately, and depending on the build, could end up wiping out the entire fortress. They can contain angels. Angels are kind of humanoid creatures, and they're going to be wearing divine metal armor and weapons. And if you kill them, you can take those, melt them down, and make your own versions. Finally, they can also contain special artifacts. These are connected to turning your home into a true mountain home. The king wants a throne of adamantine and severed symbols. So you want to find 7 of these and give them to your king. As you go deeper, eventually you will start seeing adamantine. You'll see it here. It's hard to actually make out because it looks very similar to microcline. You see here, this is microcline over here, and over here there's adamantine. I can see they look identical. In the ASCII version, this is the adamantine. It's this light blue pound symbol, while here the microcline is this light blue percentage symbol. So adamantine is a bit more obvious. Adamantine processing is a bit complex. I'll speak about it in a future video, but it is very useful material for killing out your endgame armies. As we go down further, eventually you will see pathways into hell. Here we go. This 2x2 box is a pathway into hell. So it'll be a 2x2 box, and there'll be a hole channeled, and you'll see as we go down, each of these holes will connect down and down and down, and eventually we end up here in hell. So hell is going to have just cavern floors and these eerie glowing pits. And you can't see it now because I'm on DFHack, but there is also going to be a bunch of demons spawned as soon as you open up as soon as you access this little central pillar here. It's going to spawn a large number of demons that will be very difficult for even an experienced player to deal with. So now that you know the threat you'll be dealing with, how best can you safely get down into hell without causing too many troubles for your miners? A common thing people like to do is use fortifications, and that allows them to see the gaps and see what's in the gaps. However, this is still pretty risky. If there is a fireball, it'll probably kill the dwarf. If there is a demon, it might have a ranged attack that will attack dwarves. But if not, for both angels and demons, they will scare your dwarves, and they can actually prevent any further mining from happening unless you find a way to get your miners into the area without having to see them. A way that I like doing, that I much prefer, is using glass tiles. Let me show you here. So on this level, you can see over here we have a 7 with a water in it. Okay, but if I scroll down, you'll see it's black. Basically, glass floors are see-through, and they let you see what's behind them. So you can use this to identify where the water pockets are and the magma pockets pretty easily. You'll see more up over here. For the empty pockets that might contain demons or loot or whatever, that's a bit more difficult. You can see them, but it can be hard unless you know what you're looking for. Hopefully this comes up after the YouTube compression. But I found green glass is the best way for this. You should be able to see here, this middle one. This is a lighter color compared to the ones around it. And also, if you squint really hard, you should be able to make out the cavern texture below it. So using this, you can actually tell, okay, that there is a gap here. and you can avoid it. You'll see up here as well. So I've got this one is using clear glass, and over here we've got one using green glass. And again, personally, I feel this is more obvious than this one, but maybe for you it's different. You know, everyone's eyes are a little bit different. But we can see here that there's going to be gaps here and here. So now I know that when I'm digging in this area, that I should avoid digging around here. In fact, what I usually like to do is go into mark mode and just mark the square here. So now I know that I should not dig any of these tiles. If I do, there'll be something spooky. That doesn't mean you should avoid these entirely. Technically, you have to get your 7 symbols for the quote-unquote victory condition, and also the angel's armor and weapons can be melted down and built into cool stuff for your own dwarves. And I believe if you go from above, like I'm doing here, that the fireballs won't shoot up. And just have your military station nearby. If the military is there, the dwarf who opens it up probably won't die. The military will intervene, and at this stage of the game you should have a pretty decent military, so even a demon should not be difficult for your dwarves to contain. Though the issue would be really is if it's a web spitting demon, it might be troublesome, and certain other status effects from their dust or their poisonous bites or whatever can cause lingering issues with your dwarves. So maybe have a hospital nearby down here in the Obsidian layer. Perhaps even have a little flooded chamber that they have to walk through some water to leave. That should wash off any dust they might have on them. And that way, hopefully, you can minimize any damage from cracking these open. Worst case scenario, you can always just quick save it, crack it open. And if it was too spooky, then load it. And this time, don't bother cracking it open. This advice is even more important down here when you start getting access to the entryway to hell. If this gets opened at all, it's going to spawn a giant group of demons, and unless you're prepared for it, you're probably going to die. Even if you're prepared for it, you're probably going to die. So thanks to the glass trick, you can see this fairly obviously. As you may have noticed on the way up and down, you won't have anything as big as this. So if you have an empty 2x2 square, you know that this is definitely hell, and this area should definitely be avoided. You know, you can go ahead and mark it out as I was doing before, and just keep this area clear. And then if you want to challenge to break in, then maybe, you know, have like this area all mined out, so you've got like a nice big area to be fighting in. Get all your dwarves hanging around here and crack open and just wait for the demons to come in. If you want as well, you can create a sacrificial dwarf and just have the initial group of demons leave. If I scroll up here, you'll see I've got this staircase here. Keep following it. I've got this hatch. Keep following it, and we have the third cavern layer, and the third cavern layer currently is sealed. So anything that's in the third cavern layer can't get to my base. So anything that ends up in the third cavern layer becomes somebody else's problem. And you can just lock the doors behind them, mainly because at the moment the building destroyers are bugged. When building destroyers aren't bugged, just have like a bridge or something over here that you can close up. And that way then they can't get back down. You will still get demons spawning from hell from time to time, but they'll be kind of like wildlife spawning in. They'll spawn in every now and again. Should be pretty easy for you to deal with. Then you can actually go and explore hell to your leisure. There's not really that much interesting stuff in hell. I mean, you got the pits. The pits are pretty cool. You just throw stuff down there, it gets deleted. It's basically a free atom smasher. Yeah, like there's no interesting flora, there's no interesting resources. The main thing you really do here, you know, is build a tavern, connect it to the surface, open it to the public, and then the public can come and visit the only tavern in hell. And yeah, that's my guide on how to minimize risk when entering hell. I hope you found this guide useful, and if you did, feel free to like and subscribe. If you want to watch more content like this, you can check me out on Twitch, where I stream pretty regularly, or you can watch any of the videos on screen right now. Hopefully, I'll see you soon.